guys, gals, non-binary pals, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. So today we are going to be talking about a video that came out from PewDiePie. So this is the video right here. It's called Every Fitness Celebrity is Lying to You. And so we're going to go into that. But before we get into the topic of the video, I do kind of want to give you guys an update on everything that's been going on with me. I don't really know where to do this, so I figured I'll just do it in the start of this video. If you don't want to hear all this stuff, I will put the number where you can skip to, and you don't have to deal with me talking about my life. But as many of you might know, I recently got COVID not too long ago. So I was dealing with that for quite a while, for probably about a week. And then actually not long after that, I ended up getting something called norovirus, which I would not wish on my worst enemy. It was absolutely horrible. Like probably 12 hours of the worst pain no joke, the worst pain I've ever been on in my entire life. Like it was absolutely horrifying. And then I was out for a couple days from that, but then something happened recently where this is kind of what I wanted to talk about, but because I was stuck at home for so long, I was on social media quite a bit. I mean, I kind of always am, but I started really getting very negative to a point where it just wasn't good. And I think a big part of that was because I was spending so much time like on Instagram and on social media. So the past week or so, I have actually really limited my time on social media. So basically I have like time limits on my phone, like 30 minutes on Instagram, which some of you might be like, that's still a lot of time, but I was spending like 3 hours. Is that a lot? Yes, 100%. And so that has been really good for my mental health, but it's just made me want to not focus so much on the negative and really try and focus a lot more on the positive. And so what that means for the channel is I think I'm going to try and do a lot more videos where, you know, it's not as much calling out or being as negative. I want to focus on the good. I want to focus on the positive, and I want to share my experience and try to be a good positive role model. Is that me saying that this is always going to be positive and everything's hunky-dory and rainbows and butterflies? No, because that's not how life works. But I'm not going to seek out negativity, if that makes sense. So I'm not sure if that really makes sense. It makes sense in my mind, but I just wanted to put that out there before we got into the video.
All your favorite Instagram influencers, Marvel superheroes have been drinking the Kool-Aid. Master Chief, Johnny Bravo, Goku, they're all on steroids.
So the gist of this video that PewDiePie made is talking about how basically everyone, he focuses a lot on this video. He focuses a lot on like Marvel superheroes and like, you know, actual celebrities. But he also talks about like fitness influencers basically are lying to you, and they're actually taking steroids and not disclosing that with their following. Now, this is something that I've talked about quite a bit. And I think that it's awesome that PewDiePie, you know, he has he's the most subscribed YouTuber, or like he has over 100 million subscribers, right? The fact that he is talking about this, I think is really, really cool.
I feel like if you mention this, a lot of people will go, well, obviously, duh. Like everyone in the fitness bubble knows it.
I think one of the most interesting things when it comes to steroids is a lot of people that are really into fitness and into the scene kind of you're more clued in. You're like, yeah, of course that person's on steroids. Of course they're on steroids. Like, I already know this. That's why it's such a big issue in my mind, is because the people that have the least amount of knowledge are also the people that are going to be getting tricked by these influencers, by them selling programs, because they don't know any better. So they're going to see this person and they're going to see whatever. The one thing that I absolutely cannot stand is influencers that peddle transformations of their clients as a way to show like, hey, I know what I am doing. I've always really, really disliked that, because in my opinion, if your client has put in the work to lose the weight, your client has put in the work to lose the weight, not you made that person lose weight. So that's something that's always been really frustrating. And then on top of that, a lot of times these before and after photos are completely false, or if they're not false, they will lie about the timeline. They'll say it took them 12 weeks when in reality it took them a year to make that progress, right? That's something, but it's, again, the people that don't know the most are the ones that are getting tricked by these people.
And that's why I think it's important, and not to, you know, make myself high and mighty, but I do think it's important for someone like me who has an audience that isn't necessarily into fitness to bring attention to this kind of thing.
And I agree that it's it's really awesome that he's doing this, right? Someone that a lot of his audience has no idea about fitness, or they're maybe they're thinking about getting into it, but they don't really know. They're going to be the perfect people that are going to be tricked by these, celebrities or influencers. I want to focus mainly on the influencers. The reason I feel like the influencer side is a little bit more nefarious than the celebrity side, or maybe not more nefarious, but maybe they're equal, is because a lot of these influencers, I know because I guess you could say I am one of them. A lot of the brand that we have, the brand that we promote to the people that follow us is about relatability. So when people follow you, they see themselves in you. And so then it makes it much easier for you to sell that plan or to sell that diet or whatever it might be, because they see you in them, right? They see them in you. And so it's just so much easier for these influencers that, are maybe taking steroids, that are promoting these diet plans that they might be doing, or these exercise routines that they might be doing. And then this person's going to follow me. Oh, I've been following this person for a while. They seem pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and jump on that thing.
And if you think that, this kind of steroid use is the thing of the past, I got bad news for you. It's probably more prevalent than ever. You go on Instagram and you got 18-year-olds looking like fucking orcs.
I would say that performance-enhancing drugs and stuff like that are definitely more prevalent now than they've ever been in the past. I think one of the reasons for that is because social media and so many people want to be buff and be like, have these crazy physiques for no other reason than to be buff and have a crazy physique so they can flex on Instagram. Like, that might sound like, oh, what's the big deal? But dude, this stuff is dangerous. Like, it really is incredibly dangerous to take steroids and to go into that, especially if you're not working with someone that knows a lot about what they're doing. Like, I know I go to a regular bodybuilding gym, and I know for a fact there's a lot of people there that are taking stuff, and I know for a fact that a lot of those people don't know what they're doing, but they're just taking it because they're seeing everybody else take it, and it's becoming like this very normal thing. So whether or not you are someone that takes them or doesn't, whatever, right? I personally am not a fan. I'm not someone that's ever done them. But I feel like it's becoming so normal, which, that can be a good thing, because now there's more information out there and stuff like that. But then it's also becoming so normal that people are just like taking them without even really thinking about how serious they actually are.
This guy, Noel, made this video, which you might have seen. It kind of went viral, I think.
I am not a natural bodybuilder, and I have a major problem with other influencers that are not as transparent about it. Not only does it create false hope through naturally unattainable results, it discourages many people from changing their lives. It also risks people's health for their financial gain. These same influencers enrich their lives by promoting and selling you their diet and training plans, making it seem naturally attainable to reach their chemically enhanced physiques when it's not.
So I remember when I first saw that, like, TikTok, that video going around, it was really, really popular because, again, at that time, there wasn't as many people being open and honest about their usage, right? And so Noel, he made that video, and a lot of people, I think, have followed in his footsteps. So again, I do think that is a positive. I just hope that the people that do decide, like, okay, well, I want to actually try taking these things, that they're being smart about it, because again, there are downsides to it, and if you're not careful, those downsides can be quite large, right? So again, I'm not going to be going over his entire video, because again, he focuses a lot on like the celebrity, people that are going in the Marvel movies and stuff like that, and I've talked about that in the past anyways. So I wanted to focus, mainly on the Instagram influencers, just influencers in general. Now, again, like I said earlier, you could put me in that field, right? I don't like being put in that field, but you could say that I'm similar, right? And so this is why I have taken such a hard stance against that stuff, and why I make so many videos talking about the fitness scams that you see and stuff like that, because I see it as well, and I think it's disgusting. So I'm going to put up, this is a picture that I made recently, kind of showing my transformation from, being bigger to being, losing the weight, but being, quote unquote, like skinny fat. And then this was like close, the third picture is close to when I did my physique show. And then the fourth picture was taken yesterday. Now, this has been a process that has taken, what, 9 years now? You know, I lost the weight when I was 20. I am 29 years old now. So that's taken 9 years. That's a long time. But at the end of the day, it is possible. And it is possible without taking any sort of drug or any sort of enhancement. Now, of course, 9 years is a long time. I understand that. But I want people to see that you can make these changes. It's just going to take time. And I think a lot of people really struggle with that aspect of it. It's going to take a long time. Because especially now, we are so inundated with everything being as quick as possible. And trust me, I get it. But usually quick, especially when it comes to fitness and weight loss, can also be related to dangerous and a lot of times not sustainable, right? So I want to show people that you can lose weight and then get pretty muscular. It's going to take a long time, but it is so worth it when you make that actual change to your diet and lifestyle that is maintainable and something that you can stick to long term, because this is something that I can do for the rest of my life. It's not a flash in a pan. It's not something that I'm afraid of losing if I'm not able to have access to whatever drug I decide to use to help me. Like, I have zero worry about not being able to have access to that. So I'm not afraid of me gaining the weight back or losing muscle. The only way that would happen is if I stopped putting in the work, period. And the other point that I really want to make here is that so many people get caught up in doing the quote unquote perfect routine that they're willing to spend money on these influencers' routines that they're selling because they want to look exactly like that influencer or whatever, right? Something that's really important to me is that much more important than how perfect your routine is how much you actually enjoy doing it. So you might find this perfect routine from this influencer, which I doubt, but you might find this perfect routine from this influencer that is like, it will help you gain muscle way faster, right? But if you really hate doing the routine and you're not going to the gym as often, it would be much better for you to just do something that maybe isn't as quote unquote optimal, but you actually enjoy doing that. And then on top of that, so many people get caught up in feeling like their routine has to be perfect to see any progress. And that's just not the case, especially if you are just getting started. The most important thing that you need to do to make progress is to just show up. Just show up. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. But you learning over time and finding out what is best for you, I promise you, is going to be much more beneficial to you than following some random influencer's program that they put together in 2 seconds and sent to you and made you pay them for it. I promise you it is much more valuable to learn it on your own. And again, yes, I understand that would take more time and that will take more effort, and in the long run it'll take longer, of course. But I really think that what you learn through that journey is invaluable and something some random influencer will never be able to sell you. So at the end of the day, do I think that every influencer is on steroids? No, of course not. But I do believe that more are on them than you would think. Because again, if your livelihood is attached to how you look and you make more money the better you look, of course there are going to be a lot of people that will take advantage of that and just use the quick, easy fix to make themselves look better. Now, I'm not saying that steroids are like you don't have to work at all to have a nice body. That's not what I'm saying here. But steroids work. That's why people take them. So if you take them, you will look better. That's just how it works, right? And so just be careful. Like I want the people that are watching this video, I want you guys to have the most success possible. And I really think that figuring things out for yourself it's the long road. I 100% understand that. But at the end of the day, it's the road that leads to the best results. But that's pretty much all I got to say. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I would love to know what you guys think in the comment section. And I'll see you next time.